Hello and welcome to my video. Today I want to try something different. I want to see if I can draw a sticker inside the Silhouette Studio free version, which is the Silhouette Studio Basic Edition, which you can download from free from the Silhouette website. And what you see here is a sticker sheet from my Etsy shop, which is on webpage cuteandglued.etsy.com, and you can purchase this as a physical product, or you can also purchase this as the digital download file, being the Silhouette Studio project. And I want to see if I can actually draw one of those beers inside Silhouette Studio Basic Edition without using any other application. So let's get started. I will start in a blank document, and as you can see I already have this image in there so I can have some reference. I am not starting with nothing, and I want to replicate, I want to draw some of those beers again. So I will zoom in a little bit more. I will probably create this one because it has some simple elements. For example, this scarf and this hat, it will be fairly hard to do, but I believe that those elements for this beer should be a little bit easier. So I will start with the oval tool, and I will try to draw an oval around the body of the beer, like so. And when it's drawn, I will select arrow and select this line and just move it around using the arrow keys on my keyboard. This way it will be just a little bit easier, and I will maybe resize it like so. You can see that the body isn't really a shape of the ellipse, but it's a little bit distorted. So for this, I will select this tool which is called Edit Points, and I will try to make those points in a way that they are kind of following. And as you can see, I'm just rotating those. I'm just selecting different shapes. So I'm rotating those on the left and right side like so, and I'm making the handles for the top one and bottom one just a little bit wider. And as you can see, I have a little bit of trouble trying to select the right or click on the right thing. I can move the points as well like so, so I'm almost in the same shape as the body. I'm pretty happy with the result. So this will be our body, and I need the ears, the hands and legs, if that's how it's called. So I will again select the ellipse tool, and this time I will press the shift key on my keyboard, so it's not an ellipse but it's a circle instead. And I will draw an ear like so, and I will duplicate it in a way that I will maybe press the Alt key on my keyboard and drag this shape to the right side, like so. Now for the hands, they are very simple shapes, and the legs as well, so I will probably use ellipse as well, and I may rotate it a little bit using this green handle, like so. And I want to duplicate this one more time. So what I will do is I will try to mirror it. So in the right side, I will try to find the mirroring, which is replicate, and I will say I want to mirror this like so based on the icons. This is the mirror I want. Move it to the right side and create one more ellipse for the left leg and duplicate it again, pressing the Alt key on my keyboard and dragging it to the right side, creating the second leg. So this is perfectly fine for the body shape. So I'll select all the shapes. I will hit Shift on my keyboard and click on the image again, just so that the image is not selected. I'll most likely group everything together, so select Object Group, set the fill to be white of course, and the outline to no outline for now. So this is this cross-hatched icon, just click it, no outline. Move it to the left side, and I'll maybe move it to the right side so I can see this is the body of our beer. Now I want to move to the face. So everything is fairly easy and simple. Again, I will be using ellipse a lot, so I want to draw an eye like so, and I want to pick the color. So for this, what I will do is I will click Control on my keyboard, I believe so. Yeah, it's Control, which will show me the color picker, and I can color pick this brown color. Now if you don't have this image, of course the outline should be none. If you don't have this image, you can select any kind of other color. Maybe this one will work as well, but I will keep it like it is. Now I will duplicate it one more time. Actually, before duplicating, I will try to mimic the highlights. And as you can see, there is this like a very small star, which will be hard to draw because we don't have a star symbol in there for the basic edition. So instead of star, I will probably go with the ellipse as well, because it's so small it wouldn't be too much different. So no outline and white fill. And then I will draw one more very small circle. And again, I will click the Control on my keyboard to pick this little bit lighter color, a little bit lighter brown color, and set the outline to no outline. Then I will select all three shapes, and as you can see, I'm I'm starting in this area where there is nothing and just drawing this, dragging this selection rectangle, which will not only select me those shapes but also the background image. But I can of course shift click this background image and only those 3 shapes will be selected. I will select object group, and that's one eye, so I'll move it to the right spot and duplicate it. Alt key on my keyboard, move it to the right side like so. Then I will draw those other circles. Again, pick the color, set the outline to no outline and duplicate it, and I can move to the mouth and the nose. And for this one I will most likely zoom in even more, just so I can perfectly see what's going on. So this looks like some kind of triangle. We don't have triangle in here, but we can either draw this, for example, the square or rectangle and delete one of those, or I can use this line tool, which could be used to draw a polygon. So let's draw a polygon, and as I'm drawing, I will first click in here, and you can see if I press the shift key, it will snap to 45-degree angle, which is actually what we want for the triangle. So let's draw it like this, still pressing the shift key on my keyboard like so, and then clicking on the first one. And as you can see, it's not a perfect triangle, so what we can do is we can select this one again, if I can do it somehow. Sometimes I find it very hard to select some of those shapes, so usually what I would like to do is again select everything and deselect what I don't want to be selected. I can click the edit points and just move it a little bit down like so. So for the fill, I already should have this somewhere, so I can just pick the color from here or from here, doesn't matter. But what I will do now is I will not set the outline to no outline, but I will rather set it to same color, and I will increase the point size for the outline like so. And as you can see, by default it creates those rounded edges, which is actually what we want for the nose, like so. So I'll move it like so. Again, zoom in as much as I can, or maybe not as much as I can, but a little bit more. Maybe I'll decrease the point size for the outline to make this a little bit smaller. And I want to draw this mount. And for this one, I will use this tool, which is called Flexi Shapes, I believe. And it allows me to, specify the diameter and then ending and starting points like so. And this already looks like very similar to this shape. So all I have to do is set the right color for the line and increase the width, of course, to maybe, I don't know, 1.5 points, maybe even 1 point. Maybe 1 point is fine. I don't want to move this image, and it actually set the line back to the previous value when I've hit undo. I want to select this shape, move it like so, maybe resize it a little bit like so. And again, we can tweak all those values later. You can see as I'm dragging those red circles or rectangles, whatever it is, I can change the shape. I will copy paste it one more time, move it to the left side, and just adjust those circles, or those handles like so. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the face. It's hard to see if we are right or not because we still see the image underneath. So what I will do is I will select everything using my selection tool like so. I will deselect the image and I will group everything, so the whole face will be grouped inside one group, and of course not move the image but move all those. I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to sometimes select anything, so I will send this to back. Maybe that will help. No, never mind. I will just use the arrow key on my keyboard, so the left arrow key, and maybe if I press the shift key as well, it will be moving a little bit faster. And when it's on the left side, hopefully I can finally move it. Not. Seems to be some problem with the application because for some unknown reason I cannot move it easily. Don't know why. Doesn't matter. Let's move to the next stuff. So we have the face. We are missing the belly, this ribbon, whatever it is, and maybe the ears. So let's start with the ears because they will be fairly easy. I will draw a circle like so, and from this circle I want to subtract, this path of the shape. So I will draw one more circle which will be much bigger, like so. Again, some problems selecting shapes. That's how it goes. I will try to move it like so and select both shapes using the shift key, or actually selecting like this and then deselecting the image. Then I want to subtract this bigger shape from the smaller shape. So I will jump to this icon, which is a modify panel, and I will select subtract, which will subtract the newly drawn shape from the old shape, creating the inner fill for the ear. and then pressing the Ctrl key on my keyboard, I will select the eyedropper tool and just pick this color from the image. And of course, in this case, I'm not quite sure. Maybe we can use the same outline color and maybe set it to maybe 1 point, which will make it just a little bit rounded. Maybe 2 points will make it even more rounded. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Move it over the ear like so, and I want to duplicate it and move it to the right side. Maybe just a little bit bigger, like so. Okay, so let's open this one, a replicate panel, and duplicate it with mirroring, which is this one, and move it to the right side like so. So we have ears, we have the face, we are missing the belly and the ribbon. So let's draw the belly. It will be very similar to the shape of the bear, of the body. So let's open the ellipse tool and draw an ellipse in a similar size as the belly. And as you can see, it's almost the ellipse, but it's a little bit less rounded, I would say. So again, I will open the edit points and I will drag the handles to make those a little bit bigger. So drag the handles a little bit outside of the point, which will create this shape which is not quite ellipse. And you know, usually when it's not ellipse, and that's perfect ellipse, it looks a little bit better. I will pick this color and set the outline to be no outline, and I will move this over our shape. And as you can see, we are already having a nice looking beard, and hopefully the other stuff will be easy to create as well. So as you can see, there is some kind of pattern in here, but I don't believe that we can define our own pattern inside the free version of the Silhouette Studio. So what we have to do is we have to do something else, and it will be just draw a line and duplicate it many times. So I will start with the line, draw a line, and I will draw it outside of the shape because it will be easier to select everything. So I will draw a small line like so, and set the color to be white and maybe point size to be, I don't know, 2. Let's start with 2 and we will see. And then what I want to do is I want to replicate this. So I can select this replicate, advanced replicate, and I can select I want to replicate it to the right side number of times, I don't know, maybe 10 times. But if I do it like this, if I hit replicate, it will actually not give me what I want, because the line width is set. I mean, it's treated as if it has no width. So it will be duplicated, everything will be duplicated on the very same spot. So what I have to do is I have to click this icon, which allows me to set custom positions, and I can select my own offset. And I don't know, I can try maybe 2 millimeters and hit replicate to see what happens, and it's probably not enough, so I can try to increase it to maybe like 3, and this looks a little bit better. So this is fine. I will select everything, and then I will replicate everything below maybe 5 millimeters to create something like this. And again, it's probably not enough spaced, and it's probably too big, so I'll make it a little bit smaller, and this will probably work much better. And I have a lot of shapes. I don't need that many shapes, so I will delete some of those. I will select everything, and hitting or pressing the Alt key on my keyboard, I can duplicate everything to create this kind of pattern which I'm looking for. And then I can just try to delete some of those areas. Hopefully it will be somehow able to fit. So this looks perfectly fine. I will select all those little lines and I will group those together. So select objects, group. I will move it over our belly and make it a little bit smaller to fit. And as you can see, the line is probably too bold, so I will just decrease the point size maybe to 1 point. And I'm pretty happy with the result. You can spend more time. You can again select those lines if you can somehow get those selected like so. I can move it down below, and maybe I can quickly ungroup those and delete those corner lines like this one, that one, and those two, the bottom left 2 and bottom right 2. So it's kind of more like a circular shape. Select everything, group it together, move it over the belly, and now we can make it a little bit bigger because it kind of resembles the shape of the belly. Okay, so we have the belly, we have the body, face, and ears. So let's end up with one more thing, which will be this ribbon, the the yellow one. And if something looks complicated, usually the best idea is to try to break it down into smaller elements. So as you can see, this looks like it's made of 2 triangles, 1 circle, and some lines. So we already know how to create a triangle. We can select this draw a polygon tool and just draw a triangle with the shift key being pressed just so it snaps to 45 degrees. I'll maybe put it like this. I will pick this yellow color also for the outline and increase it to maybe like 2 points to get those rounded edges. Maybe 3 points is even better. Make it a little bit smaller. Then I will duplicate it and flip it using this replicate with mirroring. So this icon. Move it a little bit to the right side, and then I will draw the circle over it with the same fill color, the yellow one. But the trick is, for the outline I will select white color. So select white color for the outline and increase the width to maybe like, I don't know, maybe 1 point. It looks kind of weird over the background, but once we move it over the beer it will be perfectly fine because the body is white as well. So all I'm missing are those lines, and I can probably draw those with the polygon tool as well. So I will draw it with the shift key being pressed, and when I'm ready I will just press the escape button or enter button or key on my keyboard, set the fill to no fill and outline to white in the 1 point size, and maybe make it a little bit smaller. And the thing is, it's hard to make any adjustments when you don't see those handles, so I'll make it much bigger just so I can see those middle handles and resize it like so, and then I can resize it to a smaller size and it will be much better. Okay, again I will mirror it, so flip it, but this time to the left side, and using the arrow keys on my keyboard I will move it to the right spot like so. It's probably way too much. Okay, that's much better. I will select everything, group it into one group, and move it over our shape, over our beer, like so. And as you can see, it's not the same, but I'm pretty happy with the result. So I will just position everything to the right spot, and we have a nice looking bear done in the Silhouette Studio free version. Now before you actually can print it and cut it, you need to make a few adjustments. So the first thing is, we have our beer, but we don't have any registration marks. So if you want to print it and then cut it, we need to add the registration marks. So I have to jump to the page setup pane, and in here I will select registration marks and set the style to be type 1, which is required for all the newer machines. I will maybe decrease the inset a little bit and maybe the length as well. Now if I jump to the send pane, you will see if everything is being set to be cut. So I will select everything, set no cut. I only want to cut the body, but if I select the body, it's done from individual shapes, so it will not not cut the body as a whole, but it will cut those individual elements, which is not what we want. So what we have to do is to select the body again, and this is made from multiple different objects. So what we want to do is select this option, which is kind of weld selected shapes into one shape. So if I click it, now I have one shape. If I jump to the send pane, you can see this is now one shape. So if I zoom in a little bit, you can see this is what will be cut and everything else will be printed. So I think that I'm happy with the result. It's not the same as this, as the image or as my sticker sheet, which you can get from Etsy. But at the same time, we haven't used any other application. We have created everything from scratch in the Silhouette Studio free version, which you don't have to pay for. I'm not saying you don't need the paid version, but in the beginning, you probably don't need it in the beginning, and you can do a lot with this free version. With those simple shapes and simple lines, you still have a lot of tools to use. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you like my stickers, please consider visiting my Etsy shop, which is on cuteandglued.etsy.com, and hope to see you soon. Also, if you have any comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below this video. I will try to answer those as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Bye.